Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Tolhurst and welcome to a very important video. Now, on the 6th of January, which was on Wednesday of last week, there was a huge demonstration that took place in the United States. This is my reaction to what happened at the Capitol, where there was loads of riots. I just want to say to you guys that this was one of the darkest days for US politics, and several people were arrested as a pro-Trump mob of protesters raided the Capitol building and ransacked offices, and also attempted to get inside to the Congress chamber, where the Senate chamber and also the House of Representative chamber is as well. So where the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi does her debates, and also where the Senate does their debates as well. I just want to say the Congress was very much left pretty much in a horrendous state, and I would like to say during this message to everyone that this protest was very, very scary. It was a very darkening as well. There was so many Donald Trump supporters going up to that building, and I think Donald Trump caused the riots that we saw in the Capitol. He told his supporters during a rally on Wednesday that we would march to the Capitol, we would contest the election result, we will never give up, we will never concede. That was the quotes that he used. However, though, Joe Biden, who is president-elect and is going to be elected or inaugurated president on the 20th of January, spoke very differently, in a very different tone, saying it was one of the darkest days for America's democracy. This was a huge a huge act of dismay for pro-Trump supporters. This shouldn't have happened, but it did. There was at least 5 people who were killed, including one police officer who sadly died during that shooting in at the Capitol. I'm just going to get up the name now of the police officer who died in the Capitol. And that, I believe, if I'm getting up there, was Brian Sicknick. He was confirmed as the police officer to have died from that shooting. Robert Sicknick was the bloke. So yes, it shows you that the police officer died. Of course, he was trying to disperse the gathering. He was trying to break up the gatherings of the protesters. And there was lots of police officers literally using shields to try and block the protesters from coming in to the Capitol. But sadly, all of them were barricading the Capitol. Some offices were, again, as I mentioned earlier, were completely ransacked. This was a horrendous event. And my message to President Trump at this current moment is this event is very dark. We all have a democracy in our country. And whilst I understand that you lost the election, you've got to concede, my friend, because Joe Biden won that election. Is the question of the election being rigged? That's another question for another video. But what happened the other day was endorsed by Donald Trump. He was the one who incited these protests, and I do think there will be some sort of hearing. There has been rumours going around that he could be removed from office. There is also another rumour going around that he could be impeached as well. We're hearing a lot about the Democrats are going to potentially table what is called the 25th Amendment. And the 25th Amendment has the power for a vice president to remove the president from office. That is exactly what the 25th Amendment does. It's a very complex piece of legislation, and it's something that I do think will be considered by the Democrats, especially the Speaker of the House of Congress, Nancy Pelosi. So this is going to be very, very interesting, and I don't know what's going to happen. But to all you guys watching this video, please use this time now to really think about what happened in America. And just in general, this was one of the biggest riots I've ever seen in the States. I know we've seen last year Black Lives Matter protests in America, but this was nothing on the scale of a BLM protest. It was so much bigger, so much more frightening. And I have to say that there was just a lot of large mobs attending that venue. We have a right to vote. We have a right for a democracy. And people should not be going around doing these things. So I'm saying to these pro-Trump supporters who attended that rally on Wednesday, the 6th of January, you broke the law, and you will feel the full force of law enforcement if you are incitingly breaking the rules. This is something that we shouldn't be doing. We should not be going around burning buildings down. This is horrendous. And what this mob done was shameful. It was shameful to God, and it was shameful for the world. What I saw was clear that this was a terrible act of violence. And events like this should never happen, especially in the States. I understand this was what was going to potentially happen, but I didn't know that the Capitol was going to be attacked. So that's the end of this video. If you like this video about what I've just mentioned about the Capitol, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll alert you when there's new videos that will be uploaded. But I just want to say, guys, before I round this off, this event and what happened to the Capitol on the 6th of January was really a true act of discouragement, a true act of unlawful behaviour, lawless behaviour from pro-Trump supporters. I just want to say, guys, that the podium where Joe Biden was going to be inaugurated, that was also, I believe, ransacked by protesters as well. So what those protesters done were really bang out of order. It was absolutely vile what happened that day. And I think everybody who attended that event and took part in those demonstrations should be considering themselves that they have made themselves very, very, just generally very, very concerned and very, very sickened as well. I'm sickened to hear this news, and they should be considering their futures right now in this current moment of time. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Take care. Goodbye.